tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I had an interesting thought to see, and and this would place you sometime in the age of like maybe 13 or 14 with some of the couple of the next questions, right? So I'm not sure, how far back you go with this, and how closely you've been keeping up for it. But I'm just, I know you know the roster real well. Who from the 18-19 class, more specifically, I guess the 2020 class as well, but the criteria is they were essentially non-players last year, and or they've been freshmen or redshirted that you think we're going to see on the field this year?
Ooh. One guy I'm a little bit hesitant to say because I probably wouldn't have said this last year. Braden Mowry, Katie Taylor, defensive end, I believe. He was all suited up for each game last year. He didn't play much, if at all.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one guy I'd like to see this year play. Brian Williams. I liked Brian Williams a lot. See a lot more of Layden Robinson, which I'm very excited for. I really like Layden. I'll give you one more. Jalen Preston.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see a lot more of Jalen Preston.
He got quite a bit of action in the spring game, didn't he?
Yeah, he ran a lot of ones as well during the spring. Yeah, I was watching back the spring game, and he had 5 receptions in the first half, something like that. Really good.
So tell me what you think about this. My prediction, I think, really a low key guy, I think, is Adarius Jones.
Oh yeah.
I really got a good feeling about this guy. He reminds me a little bit of Dalen Mack. He's kind of got some quick get off. He's kind of built like McKinley Jackson, and I saw him quite a bit in the spring game. So I'm curious to see how he works his way up there. Maybe he's not the first guy out on the field, but I feel like he's going to play a significant role this year.
Yeah. If he gets opportunities, I think he can probably make some noise. I can't remember what class he did. I can't remember if he's like a junior. I think he is a junior. Or maybe he's a redshirt sophomore. I can't remember.
And but he might have medical redshirted too. And then this last year with COVID, he may still technically be a freshman. I'm not sure. And now he may end up being a sophomore this coming year.
Yeah.
When it rolls out. I'm not
sure, but
not perfect on that, but because things will play out a little bit weird. But I think last time I checked the roster, I think he still was listed as freshman. I think that may have been on the spring program. I have to go back and double check. Interested to see what that guy can do. I think he can be a terror. I think he was a 3-star as well.
Yeah. A little bit more on the physical side, but I liked him a lot. He's not as physical as like Isaiah Rakes, but I actually did like Adarius before he got hurt last year. So we'll see.
Yeah, Rakes is one of my favorite players as well. He came in, him and Walker, I think, were kind of sort of side by side for me in that class as like, low key guys that are going to come in and make a splash or some sort of large impact. I mean, those are large human beings anyways. So
huge.
Feel like that dude, I think I see a video with him, like maybe his running back or something. It was a highlight reel. I can't quite remember now.
Yeah, those are hilarious. I actually did see those. Yeah, those are funny.
He
was actually pretty good.
Right.
Yeah.
And he kind of speaks to this thing I'm sure all coaches everywhere are kind of getting into this, but Jimbo seems more than most that these guys that like play basketball as well, or they do a second sport. And maybe Isaiah doesn't do a second sport, but if you're getting the ball handed off to you, then you know how to do something.
Yeah.
You can handle it, how to handle yourself, and you've got good footwork. So I want to see that guy get the ball one day.
I was actually thinking about that. Yeah. I remember when he first came on the campus, because I was really close with Isaiah. Not as close anymore since he's gone through college and all that. But I remember as soon as he got on campus, there was one play that they kept on running, where he was a scout team running back, and he had a blast doing it. He had a blast. It was hilarious.
I bet he could definitely be one of those guys that we see a lot more of this year as well. He was kind of my second choice, I think.
Yeah.
I think he was a class after Darius, so maybe in 19, but yeah, something right around there. So you got this prediction.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Why don't you take me through that a little bit? I looked at it kind of close and I was like, okay, who's on here? And so like, I'm just ready to take notes.
All right. So first, whenever I build my class predictions, I always put in the guys that I really think are going to be Aggies. And then I go a little bit towards the guys that, we're probably in a battle with one or two or maybe three schools with. And then I'll throw in like one or two guys that were like maybe a little bit further back from the bunch, but I have really good intel in. So that's kind of when it's a little bit. I'll walk you through the whole thing. Weigman, self-explanatory. I don't think there's a chance he leaves. Jamari and Miller, I'm pretty sure the Aggies have him as the number one guy in Texas, running back wise. I think it's gonna be either him or Citizen, but I'm a little I'm a little scared about Citizen, so I wasn't willing to put him on there. I was like, screw it, put Miller in there. Receiver was a little bit more tough because I didn't know how I wanted to go about that. Because there's so many different things that could happen. But I just threw in Chris Marshall and Kojo, I believe. Chris Marshall, I think A&M has quite the lead for. It's only getting better for them. USC is the other school there, but I don't see them getting him right now. Kojo, you can make a case for Georgia, maybe Ohio State, because Ohio State cooled down for a little bit, but they ran back up for him. I do think we get Kojo though. I kept Tagna in the class. Some people were a little bit worried about him leaving. I'm not too worried about it. Donovan Green was at tight end. Offensive tackles, I believe I put Cam and Kelvin on there. Mm-hmm. Cam, I think it's going to come down to an A&M, maybe OU battle, maybe Texas. I do think A&M is one of the top schools right now. Top two schools, I meant. And then Kelvin, I think right now, maybe Texas leads by just a little bit. I'm not too worried there. He's really close with Cam Dewberry. So I think if we do get Cam Dewberry, that's going to move a huge stick to A&M. And I put Jalen Early at offensive guard. That one, I kind of regret putting in right now. I didn't think about Nito. I totally went brain dead on that one because I was at a point where I had 4 offensive tackles and I was like, I can't put any more offensive tackles. It just looks silly. So I was like, okay, maybe because we've talked to Cam about going to guard. So I was like, do I label Cam as a guard? I was like, all right, I'm just gonna go put a guard in. And I found Jalen Early. And I was like, okay, maybe that was one of my guys where I was like, maybe the Aggies can make a play for. Maybe they can beat Oklahoma for Jalen. I wish I put Nito, but I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it. Defensive end. I can't remember who I put there. I know I had Malik. I had someone else. I can't remember who the other guy was. I can't remember. But at defensive tackle, I had Bear. I had flipping Bear. I don't think that's gonna happen soon. I think that's more of a thing that might happen at the end of summer, early season. I had Jaden Scarlett, which I didn't know if I wanted to put him at end or interior because that's still something that's thrown up in the air. We're not quite sure if he gets on campus, and we don't know what's gonna happen there. And then I had crud. I can't remember the third guy I had there. I know I had 3. I wanted to put Dindy. I wanted to put Gabriel Dindy in there, but I felt like if I put another 5-star in there, it'd kind of lose my list relevance a little bit. I didn't want that feel to it. So I didn't put him in there, but it's very realistic that we can get him. And I thought about a Boer, but that's just too big of a long shot for me right now. I didn't want that quite ruining the whole list as me putting a Boer. And then linebackers, I went 3. I think I had Ish Harris, Martrell Harris, and then I had Harold Perkins. I think we lead for all 3 right now. That's a pretty bold take. I think we have a good lead for Harold. I'm not quite sure who's going to be the opposer there, but there's a few schools that are interested. Ish Harris would be a really hard beat over Oklahoma, but I do think we get that. And then Martrell Harris, the one school that stayed constant is A&M. So I'm going to stick with A&M there. And then corner, someone got mad at me for not putting Denver. I did not want to put Denver in there. I felt like that was kind of just like, I feel like now with how it's been trending, we're kind of going down. Texas is going up, Alabama's going up. So I didn't put him there. But I put Bobby Taylor, I put Julian Humphrey, which was interesting. He's not going to be camping this year, which I think is going to hurt that list. Because I feel like that's a big way for Julian to get into the class to be a take. I put Terrence Brooks in there. I think there's a little bit more ways to go there, but I do like A&M's shot there. And that safety, where I made a lot of people mad, Xavier Nwankpa, which I talk to Xavier every single day. I talk to Xavier every single day. I think it's going to be A&M and Ohio State. And I do think we win that one out if we continue to push. If it keeps trending our way. Right now, I think Ohio State's kind of gone down just a little bit because they lost a cornerback. He was really close to Indiana. And so A&M has been continuously going up. And I don't think right now we're leading or we're tied. We're probably a little bit down for him right now in terms of leading. But I do think if we really do want him, we'll get him. I took a pick out of him. I took him over Wilson, and I took him over third safety and Biddle. Biddle, I think, is going to go to Oklahoma. And then my last guy, I had Jared Kerr, which can go to Oklahoma. He can go to Texas, but I think we're going to get him if we do want him.
Quite the list.
Yeah. I stated in like the second paragraph because I knew some people would be like, it's not going to happen. I'm like, I don't expect this to happen because the lower rated guys will always emerge later in the cycle. And like a guy like Troy Stellato last year, he was a speedster out of Florida, I believe. He was like a low 3-star. And by the end of the cycle, he was a high 4-star and signed to Clemson. And so guys like that are going to pop up. They might not be as highly ranked as him, but there's going to be those guys that pop up. So I don't expect that to be nearly right. But that's right now, those are my best reads on those guys.
Well, look, I mean, it'll be fun just to like look back at it and see how many you do get right. I mean, that's kind of the beauty of it, of making the bold predictions. You know, most people aren't, they're kind of the couch king or whatever, right? And they're all, look back, and oh, that was a bad pick. There's no, if they had made a list, they wouldn't have done any better, right? So
yeah,
it's just a good, fun thing to do and make a prediction, see how you do. And, who cares? Who cares if it's all right or whatever?
Off season, that post is as relevant as any post I can put out there right now.
Sure.
Right now, I'm just trying to get as much content out as I can without it being too So that was a good idea I had. Kind of pushed it out there. So let's hope that turns out well. I'll probably make another I might make one after the summer because I mean in a month from now we'll have a totally different read on things.
Mm-hmm.
Like all those going to be taken officials. We'll have no idea. We'll have no idea how it's going to look in a month. Like Kojo could go. Maybe he goes to Ohio State. And that whole risk might be ruined off of that one thing. So we'll see what happens, but it can change a lot over the next month. So I'm probably put one out in July, probably.
Well, so out of that list, you had, if I counted correctly, it was about five 5-stars that you predicted, right? Those were
how you rated Scylla and Weigman and all them.
So those were Weigman's currently 5-star, right?
Yeah, he's a 5-star, but there's only 32 5-stars per class, but he's number 33. So it kind of depends. And then Scylla, one service, he was 5-star, one service, he was 4-star. So I labeled him as a 5-star.
Mm-hmm. And then, if I'm not mistaken, Kelvin Banks is one.
Yeah, he's a 5-star.
Is Cam Dewberry one as well?
Not yet. 24/7 has him super low. I think that's the thing that's killing him right now. On Rivals, he's like 23rd, I think.
Okay.
So
no, Harold Perkins is up there.
Yeah, Harold's a 5. And then
let's see. I think I got Weigman, Kelvin, Malik, Harold. Who's the other? Oh, is Xavier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's per composite. Yeah.
Okay.
On composite, 5-star.
Well, and then it seems like I think I counted also about 3-stars on there. I don't think it was 4, but that's another place I like to look, to be honest, is to kind of see how many 3-stars are we dragging in? There's kind of that idea that you're going to need about 16 blue chip recruits to be able to really make a run. So they got to be 4 or 5 star. And so I like to see and track the 3 stars to see if it's trending low and or, those 3 stars that we do take, what they do, after the fact. So that kind of talks about development, of course, and whatnot, but just to see how that changes over time. It just, to me, it's kind of it's a one mark of progress.
Yeah.
So I'm a person also, whenever I go to a game and it's not a conference game, I stay for the whole thing. I want to see the fourth quarter because I want to see the backup play.
Yeah.
Notorious, previously when we get to the, not always even in the third quarter or fourth, sometimes it's already happened in the first or second. Years past where they're still scoring on us, right? And or we're not scoring on them even with our first 1s and 2s. But then when our 2s and 3s and are for sure playing and 1s are basically out, I'm like, are we going to still move the ball? Are we going to still hold our ground? So those are big things for me to watch to see how our program develops.
I didn't quite think about it like that. I didn't quite think about it. I know I had a few 3 stars debating on where you wanted to put them. Like I know Ish Harris was 3 star on one side. I know Martrell Harris is 3 star on one side. So that it kind of wonders there. But A&M developing 3 stars lately. I mean, had quite a list. Like Watermeyer and Anais, guys both going to be for sure drafted next year. Watermeyer is probably, without argument, is the number 1 tight end in the nation this year. He'll be a junior. And then you have Baylor Cupp, who's a 5 star, who really doesn't have a chance at beating him out until maybe in the season, if any. But I mean, A&M's done really good developing 3 stars lately.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it, to be honest. It's been, there's been lots of breaths of fresh air, and that being one of them where it's like, wow, we're getting really great production out of these guys. So that's just one way of seeing it, but then also to know how we develop them is huge.
Yeah.